example boot logging, what Process Monitor is going to do is install its driver, capture the shutdown, capture the startup, and then what I'll be able to do is save the trace, load it up, and see exactly what the malware did during the system startup and during the system shutdown. And that's how I captured this fact that it is writing itself to the registry during shutdown. So it's a case where Autoruns wouldn't have shown us anything, but Process Monitor will tell us how this thing is getting activated with the run once key. It turns out that that is enough for me to know how to clean this thing off. Let's say that I didn't know where this thing was and can't delete the file for some reason. The malware is as easy to clean off the machine as rebooting the machine before it's shut down, because it doesn't get a chance to do its clean shutdown and write itself. Example of how malware is being even more stealthy by not persisting itself while it's operating, so that when you go and analyze the system, it's not going to show up. So killing this thing is as easy as rebooting into safe mode and terminating it from there. And let's take a look at somebody else's real example of rebooting into safe mode and cleaning malware off a system. This is a case of a friend asking a friend. How many people have been asked by somebody like, hey, come over, let's have a barbecue and a beer. Oh, by the way, you want to check out the kitchen PC? Oh, I want to show you some cool pictures. Oh, I can't because of malware. Maybe you could help me clean it off. Now, this is an example of that, where the friend has the friend look at it, and it's obviously infected with a piece of scareware very similar to what we just saw. The user tried running Process Explorer and Process Monitor, but it was blocked just like what we saw, that malware blocking processes. They tried going to Sysinternals.com to see if there was something they could run, and even Sysinternals.com was blocked. Now, when you can't reach Sysinternals.com, I say you give up on the PC altogether right there. It's just not worth using anymore. No, actually, you can. What they did is boot into safe mode. And when they booted into safe mode, they ran msconfig, saw nothing unusual. So this is actually a view of safe mode and how safe mode doesn't show you a lot of locations that Autoruns does. They loaded up Autoruns, and I've got that file here. And when they pulled it up, it stuck out like a sore thumb. There it is, randomly named, sitting in the run once key, just like we saw WinWebSec create, sitting in program data, the root of program data. So this one did have admin rights, but cleaning this thing off then was as easy as unchecking it, and they rebooted, and the malware was off the system. There's more aggressive forms of scareware now. Ones that actually make it look like the law enforcement is after you. So let me pull one of these up. And I've got some examples of screenshots of this new kind of scareware. Whoop. There we go. By the way, this one right here, it's so bold that it even asks you to elevate it to admin rights. Yeah. And I think that my mom would probably click yes. This one says we have detected spam, and this is the one that gets people. Because at this point, they're like, really? You know what? I don't even want to take the chance that I might have it on my system, because if I go to law enforcement or take it to Geek Squad or whatever, and they find that stuff on there, then who the hell knows what kind of legal crap I'm going to be dragged through. So let me go ahead and pay this thing off to get this thing off my system. Here's another one, going around Germany. Here's another one. Here's one that makes you buy something first. And here, look, they're even internationalized themselves. Here's another one in Russian. Here's another one from the FBI. FBI asking for your money pack payment. It's a little suspicious. The Department of Justice, they seem to like money pack a lot. And by the way, you can get them at your finer Walgreens, Kmart's, and so on. Let's go back to the one that I've got here. It's called Lockscreen, and lockscreen.ct. And what this is going to do is not even it's not the scareware type, it is the we've taken control of your system and it's hostage. Here it is. At this point, I can't do anything. It looks like the start menu is there, but I can't touch it. The only things I can do are enter an unlock code that I've got to go pay for. And launch a program like Explorer, or Internet Explorer, boom, it disappears. I've got a second desktop running here with Process Monitor watching what's going on, and Autoruns as well. And I can't interact with them because this thing has created a little window for the mouse that is exactly where that little entry dialog is. So I can't click anywhere. You can see I can click here. Watch this. I can't click on that. If I say window key M, then I can minimize everything and it can see that kind of the boundary box right there. There it is, where I can draw. But what I can do is take a look at what we see in Autoruns, and I also can open Process Explorer, and there's lock screen. It shows up with the purple highlight right there. It's got a Russian name, it's got a Russian description, it has no digital signature. And what Autoruns shows us is it's sitting there in a couple places, WinLog on shell and the run key. The problem now is that obviously I can't clean these things off without because it's going to stop me from even running anything. So the only way that I can launch this or clean it is to boot into safe mode. There's a few different types of safe mode. There's vanilla safe mode with networking, and safe mode with command prompt. Don't use safe mode, the vanilla one. Don't use safe mode with networking. The reason why is that this malware puts itself in places that those two safe modes will execute anyway, because those use the shell. So for example, this WinLog on shell right here gets executed. Safe mode with command prompt will skip the shell-oriented, the shell auto starts. So that was the one that you'll be able to clean the system off of. And I've got lock screen right here, booted into safe mode with command prompt. And you'll see at this point, I can launch Autoruns, and it'll come up and show me the exact same thing that I just saw, Autoruns, by cheating on that second desktop. Desktops is a Sysinternals utility, and they pop up. Now these are the Sysinternals tools that are debugging unsigned. And at this point, I can clean the system like this, and then go delete those files, and I'm done with the ransomware. Here's another example of a real piece of malware. This one is what I call the case of the runaway CPU. This is a user actually sent me this case. They noticed that their fan, so they've got this monster, tower under their desk at home, and they noticed that the fan is out of control. It's really loud. It's like what they get when they play a game that's very graphics intensive. And so they're like, that's funny, I'm not doing anything on the system. It should be idle. Why is the fan on? They launch Process Explorer, and they suspect that it might be the GPU, because the only time that they ever hear the fan spin that loudly is when they're playing a game that's GPU intensive. Process Explorer has GPU support in it. There's a GPU column up here, right there. And if I run something that's GPU intensive, you'd see these things spin up. I can also add the GPU columns like this person did. Process GPU here, GPU usage. And I see a little bit of GPU activity from DWM down here. Where'd it go? DWM. And if I do things like move this around a lot, that's going to generate some more usage. Oh, where'd it go? It's running away from me. A little bit of usage anyway. And what they noticed when they ran is that there was a lot of GPU usage down here by this thing called Java avsked.exe. 100% of the GPU, no description, no company name. It looks very suspicious. So they killed the process, the fan stopped. How did the process get launched? So they looked at the binary, they uploaded it to VirusTotal, and